Yo, okay, so Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt just said something in this new interview that genuinely made me stop scrolling. Like, put the phone down, reread it kind of moment. Because 7 years, right? 7 years of being sober, and he just casually drops that it's over. Just like that. But, and this is the part that actually got me, that's not even the craziest thing he says in this interview. There's a line in here so dark that his own friend apparently had to check in on him. Like, hey man, I know you see the glass as half full, but it's half full of urine. That's an actual thing someone said to him. So yeah, stick around. Because by the time we get to the end of this, I think you're going to agree with me that the person who's saying nothing right now is somehow the loudest part of this whole story. No cap. Let's just get into it. So quick refresher, in case you haven't kept up with the Brad and Angelina saga, because honestly at this point, who could blame you? These two split in 2016. That whole private jet thing, everyone remembers that. Divorce filed days later. And from there, it's just been a lot. Custody battles for years. A whole separate legal war over a winery, Chateau Miraval, that's still not even done. There's a trial coming in 2027. We're still not out of this thing. And the divorce itself, not actually finalized until December 2024. So do the math on that. 8 years. 8 years to close out one marriage. Now, Brad's sobriety story has kind of been the one steady thing in all of this chaos. He quit drinking basically right when things fell apart. Talked about it in GQ back in 2017. Talked about it again with the New York Times in 2019. And it's always been this arc of like, I hit rock bottom, I got sober, I came out the other side better. That's the Brad Pitt redemption story we've all sort of absorbed over the years.
Brad Pitt announces he's now consuming alcohol after a 7-year stint in sobriety, further going on to say that he struggled with depression and thoughts of self-harm. Keep in mind, this man has been considered a heartthrob and one of the most successful actors of the past 40 years. Which just goes to show that no matter how good looking, successful, and accomplished someone is, they can still struggle with these types of things. However, he's now gone on to say that he drinks in moderation. So best of luck to him, and I hope that this goes well. Because he's come a long way in terms of his public persona and his appearance in recent years, looking very healthy for his age. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Which is exactly why this new Esquire piece hits different, like genuinely different. So he's sitting down for this interview, right? And at some point, he's literally pouring the writer a glass of wine. And the writer's kind of like, wait, is that just for guests? Or, and Brad just goes, nah. And then he says it. Direct quote, this is him talking. I was sober for 7 years, and then I got back off the wagon. Bro, read that again. 7 years. Gone. Now, to be fair to him, he clarifies pretty fast. He's not saying he went off the deep end. He says he's drinking now in a more restrained manner. His actual words were, I got overconfident a couple times. Went, yep, nope, not good for me. Not in big quantities. So it's less like a full relapse story and more like he tested it, found the line, and he's trying to stay on the right side of it. Which, okay, fair enough. That's honestly kind of a mature way to talk about it. But that's just the opener. Here's where it gets crazy. Because a little later in the interview, he starts talking about what he calls family stuff. And we all know exactly what that means, right? That's code for Angelina. That's code for the kids. He doesn't get super specific about it, doesn't name names, doesn't go into details, but he says this, and I want you to actually sit with it. There was one period, he says just one, where the pain got so heavy that, quote, I could feel the cold steel of the bullet in my head, and it felt like relief. Bro, that is Brad Pitt, 2-time Oscar winner, one of the most recognizable people on the planet, saying that out loud, on the record, in a magazine.
Brad Pitt publicizing that he is no longer sober is the last giant FU to his children that he could ever give in the wake of many of his kids coming out and dropping his last name very publicly, a nasty, nasty divorce with Angelina Jolie after he allegedly, and I don't think allegedly, poured booze all over his kids in a private plane and assaulted them, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. And then they were in this big fight over the winery that they owned, and he did this horrible thing where he forced her to show all of the NDAs that she had ever signed for her work so he could prove how much money she was trying to hide, so he didn't have to give her any money for the half of the winery. It was a wreck. And now he does an interview. He's 63 years old, this man. He does an interview with Esquire talking about how he's fallen back off the wagon because he made a huge show of going sober after all of that. And this to me is just the final, like, okay, bye-bye. And he's probably going to marry a 21-year-old and have more kids. The ultimate fuck you to his kids.
Now he does walk it back a little. He says, I was never suicidal in any way. It just was not my makeup. And he credits his survival instinct for snapping him out of it. But no cap. That quote alone is going to be the headline on every single entertainment site by tomorrow morning. I guarantee it. And when the interviewer tried to push a little further, tried to connect that pain directly to the kids, to what's actually going on there, Brad just shut the door on it. Said, quote, we could leave it at that. And that was it. Subject closed. So here's the thing that got me thinking, right? Every outlet running this story, Fox, TMZ, People, Hello, all of them. They're all covering the same two headlines, the drinking and the one little period. Same quotes, over and over. But wait for it, because I went and looked for the other half of this story. What does Angelina have to say about her ex-husband basically telling the world that stuff connected to their family pushed him to somewhere that dark? Nothing. Not a word. No statement, no rep comment, nothing from her team at all. And at 51 years old, after everything this woman has been through publicly, the plane incident, the allegations she raised in court, the 8 years of legal back and forth, the winery case that's still not even resolved, that silence is doing a lot of talking on its own. Because think about the pattern here for a second. Every time Brad opens up, it's a cover story. It's Esquire, it's GQ, it's candid quotes about pain and grief and starting over. He's processing this stuff very publicly, chapter by chapter, for a decade now. Angelina, the last time we even heard anything from her camp connected to this whole saga was through her lawyer, back in December 2024, when the divorce actually finalized. And even that was just a short, measured line about her being exhausted, but relieved it was over. That's it. That's the whole contrast right there. One of them is out here narrating his healing journey in real time to millions of readers. The other one has basically gone quiet and stayed quiet.
Why do all of Brad Pitt's children hate him? In the run-up to Father's Day, it seemed like there was news in the press almost every other day about another one of Brad Pitt's children dropping the name Pitt from their surname. And if you're out of the loop on what happened with this messy family drama, this is everything we know, including the publicly available court document that gives you a very good idea on why they might not want to have anything to do with their dad. Shiloh was the first one of their children to legally drop her name. She did that in 2024 when she turned 18. In the same year, Vivian worked backstage on the Broadway production of The Outsiders, and when her name was credited on the playbill, she had just gone by Jolie. Then this year, Maddox and Zahara both legally filed to drop the name Pitt, and Knox, who recently graduated, in his graduation just went by Knox Jolie. So what caused this? Well, obviously we don't know exactly what happened behind closed doors, but we do know about an incident on a plane that happened in 2016. And the details are public because of an FBI report on what happened, and also because of court filings between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. In the court filings, it said that Brad Pitt verbally attacked Angelina Jolie before grabbing her by the head on the flight, shaking her, then grabbing her by the shoulders, shaking her again, and then pushing her into the bathroom wall. One of the children, we don't know who, tried to defend their mother, and, quote, Pitt lunged at his own child, and Jolie grabbed him from behind to stop him. To get Jolie off his back, Pitt threw himself backwards into the airplane seats, injuring Jolie's back and elbow, the filing says. It continues, the children rushed in and all bravely tried to protect each other. Before it was over, Pitt choked one of the children and struck another in the face. They all would have been between ages 8 and 15 at the time. And it says he poured beer over Jolie and red wine over his children. So the coordinated PR thing of them all dropping the name Pitt around Father's Day, I think, is just chef's kiss.
So where does that actually leave us? Brad's out here talking about grief, calling it an aching beauty, saying he wants his 50s back so he can go attack life while he still can. And Angelina is just not saying anything. And honestly, given everything both of them have put each other through over the last decade, maybe that silence isn't cold at all. Maybe it's just her being completely done talking about this publicly, while he's still out here working through it, one interview at a time. Either way, this story is not finished. There's still a trial coming in 2027 over that winery. And with a saga like this one, bro, it is only a matter of time before somebody breaks that silence. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.